Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Nick.
Hello.
Good morning. And Mike is here.
He is. He's right here.
And Gal is here.
Hello.
Hello. And even Spence is here. Welcome back, Spence.
You're in an airplane in flight?
Oh, yeah. This is actually a spaceship.
It's very quiet.
Good morning.
Elon Musk's
Well, it's
spaceship.
electric.
That's it. Solar powered plane.
Oh,
Exactly.
So the new electric hybrid cars do not have AM radios in them. The cars make so much noise, the AM radios will not pick up the signal.
That's interesting.
If you're worried about 5G radiation, you better not buy an electric car because it has all of this electromagnetic radiation surrounding you.
Oh, I feel like electrified.
Is this unregulated frequencies or what?
Well, it's broadband noise. It's unregulated. I mean, it's for example, if you have a I don't know, a hair dryer. No, that's not even a hair dryer. What is some of these devices? I forget what they are, but some like an electronic device that has to pass UL. They have to pass certain noise tests to be able.
A microwave, right?
Well, probably, but more not. No, their devices, particularly if it's like if you were to buy a plug-in CD player or something like that. Some of these things have to have noise suppression on them, but then you go get a hair dryer and it'll wipe out half the RF in your house. It's unregulated.
All right, so our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software, Telestream's Wirecast software, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. All right. Did away with that. It's we're actually all over the East Coast, from north to south. Nick is in New York, Gal is in Florida, and we are right here in the middle. Nice and cozy.
We're in the halfway back state.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what's happening?
Stuff. Actually, it's turning out to be a pretty interesting retail season.
As in?
Just the numbers are up quite a bit. Consumer confidence hit an all-time high. Manufacturing hit an all-time high. But look at what's happening with the stock market.
Fake news.
Thank you, Obama.
Oh, you mean the stock market is fake news, or the consumer confidence is fake news?
They're all fake news.
I'm sure it's engineered to make Trump look bad.
Yeah, and thank you, Obama is fake news.
I was ready to throw something at the. Oh yeah, exactly. I was ready to throw something at the TV the other day when they started talking about the Fed rate, the Federal Reserve, the Federal this, the Federal that, which is not anything related to federal because it's private. Right. Federal Reserve is a private entity, just given the responsibility for managing money by essentially private banks. What was book? You probably know about this book, Mike. What is it? About Jekyll Island, when they met to form the Federal Reserve back in the 20s. There's a good book about it. Something of Jekyll Island, and it talks about
the creature on Jekyll Island.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, talking about the Federal Reserve. Well, I don't want to squash everybody's holiday mood here by talking about this crap.
Well, I want to talk about retail for a second, Spence, because
before you do that though, there was a fake news out last week that Trump was going to end the Federal Reserve. Carl's laughing.
Well, and they were, and he was going to put his picture on the.
Yeah,
yeah, that would be funny.
All right,
Trump, we trust.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, go ahead.
I was at a mall. I went to a comedy show last night that's in the mall here, and we got there about 6 o'clock last night, and I was blown away with the amount of parking spots at this mall. It's got to be a rough season for in-person retailers. I mean, I've been going to this mall. I'm back up in New York. I've been going to this mall all my life, and going there 3 days before Christmas would be a death wish. I mean, you wouldn't find a parking. You'd have to park 2 towns away to find a spot, and we park right near the door.
Did you go? I've seen so many delivery vehicles out there. They're delivering anything that they can put packages in. They're driving to deliver packages. I can get like 4 different trucks come within an hour from all Amazon stuff, but all come from different sources. Amazon's own delivery, FedEx, UPS, and USPS.
Nick, did you go at the same time of day that you normally used to go?
6 o'clock on the last Saturday before Christmas. I mean, that's prime shopping still.
So the question is, why would you want to go out and fight the stores? Go into a store that has salespeople, quote unquote, who know nothing about the product. They don't care about it. They're pissed off because they're only making $8, $9 an hour. When you can just go online, order it, even though it's Amazon, and order from them, and it'll be here tomorrow or the next day, and at the same or a lower price. I mean, it's kind of hard to argue against the concept, other than it's Amazon. And my New Year's resolution is to wean myself completely from Amazon so that I don't have to renew my Prime in July.
I think Amazon announced that the 21st was the last chance to order and get it in time for Christmas.
I ordered something yesterday. It'll be here Monday.
I did too.
Oh, well, let's wait and see.
Truck backing up to my house sometime today.
I got stuff delivered today. I think, Mike, it's the people who procrastinate. It's either they procrastinate going to the store or they procrastinate ordering online. I remember going to my sister came down for Christmas one time, got here Christmas Eve morning, and wanted to shop for gifts for the family. And we went out to try to go shopping. And the only store that was open by the time we went out, about 6 o'clock on Christmas Eve, was Kmart. This is a while ago. And there were still people going through the stores looking for something to buy.
But that was not necessarily their first or primary gift. They're probably saying, I need to round this. That's not quite enough.
I think a lot of people also wait until the last few days because they know that there will be some deals.
I think there's some people that just wait because they wait. My father would always wait till the last day.
I've been done.
That's the way. Can you take me to the store? What do you need? I need to shop. It's Christmas Eve.
Yeah. I've been done with shopping for about a week.
What'd you get me?
You didn't get it yet?
Oh, no.
Okay.
But I mean,
I wonder why I didn't get a thank you note.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. I think it's interesting with these malls. I mean, I think the mall I went to has got a Best Buy, Dick's Sporting Goods. Those are the big stores. There's a JCPenney. There's a Macy's. Those are the big stores. And then there's a whole bunch. There's GameStops. There's a whole bunch of other little cell phone places inside the store, jewelry stores. I was a bit shocked that there was that there was parking. Frankly, I was shocked that there was parking 3 days before Christmas at the biggest mall in the area.
I wonder how it'll do with this morning when I put together the specials. I did all store pickup stuff that you could order and pick up. It was hard. Some of them were hard to find. The Office Depot was really pretty sad what they actually had that they could claim as store pickup. But I wonder if that'll make a difference if there are people who are going to just swing by and pick up the stuff they ordered.
Well, I got a once in a lifetime offer from Office Depot. Get it now or lose it forever. Ream of paper for the extravagantly low price of only $34.
Yeah, they're all bombarding everybody. That's what they do.
I pay $15.
I
Yeah.
had an interesting experience this week. So, as typical, when I come home for a holiday, I've got to play IT support man for every close relative and every third or fourth cousin and aunt. So that's what I've been doing.
Let me go get my fiddle. I didn't bring.
You know what this is?
Yes, it's the miniature violin. I can play. So for a couple weeks before I came home, my grandparents kept telling me they wanted a new computer. So we did some computer shopping. Maybe last Monday or Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday, and they wanted a desktop. I don't know why. I couldn't convince them to get a laptop. They wanted a desktop. Okay, fine. So we start off with they have is BJ Wholesale Club a nationwide thing, or is that just a local?
They are.
Yeah.
Okay. So we start. They've got a BJ's and a Sam's Club membership. So we go to the BJ's Wholesale. They don't have any computers that are desktops there. They've got maybe half a dozen laptops. Okay. Head on over to Sam's Club. Same thing. Couple laptops, no desktops. Staples, right? They've got to sell desktop computers. They sell 3, 2 HPs and 1 Dell. The 2 HPs were the model number that Amnon has had, or similar models to the one that Amnon's said he's had 4 of, and one of his customers has had problems with. So we go to Office Depot, same thing, like 2 or 3 desktops. So I finally had to give up and go to Best Buy, where they had probably a dozen desktops of different brands and varieties in stock. But I was very disappointed in Staples and Office Depot, Office Max. I mean, Best Buy is the only place that you can pretty much buy a desktop locally anymore, which was quite surprising. I remember Sam's Club and BJ's both selling a decent variety of desktops not that long ago, but I guess that's all changed.
They're toast.
Yeah.
Like cassette deck players.
Notice the price of desktops went up quite a bit.
Yeah, this was a little expensive. It was a Lenovo i5. It may be even in your sale ad, Spence, for Best Buy, because it was one of the. I mean, they only had a couple in stock that you could just grab off the shelf. Lenovo something, i5, terabyte hard drive, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and I want to. Yeah, I want to say maybe it was like 530, 527, 5 something or other. Who knows?
But I think the price of desktops has gone up because they're not manufacturing as many as they used to. So I think it could be a supply and demand thing. Right, you just don't, like Nick was saying, you see them in the ads, but they're not.
Just build one.
They're out there.
I thought about doing that for them, but for the machine that they need, it doesn't make sense to build.
Right.
I think it does if you can't find what you want.
Well, but they see, this is the thing, is they weren't hell bent on having anything besides a working computer. So the building is really only for the enthusiasts. I can't imagine. I wouldn't have been able to build that computer for less than $600. There's no way.
Well, what were their requirements?
No requirements. They wanted the computer they had is from 2009. They need a new computer. I mean, that the requirement was
they only use it on the internet.
Yeah, they use it on the internet.
Yeah.
My grandfather does Excel and Publisher. I mean, that's it. There doesn't need to be anything crazy.
Craigslist.
Yeah, I actually looked at Craigslist and I didn't see anything that jumped out at me. A lot of the stuff on Craigslist up here, at least, is old gaming rigs that people are trying to get rid of.
Yeah, which are about 100 times faster than their 2009.
Yeah,
computer.
but these people want $800 or $900 for it, and it just wasn't worth $800 or $900.
People in hell want
I've got fried video cards.
Did you say people in hell want ice water?
Sure.
That's a saying I've never heard before. That's a good one.
Lord.
So yeah, Best Buy. If you want a desktop computer and you want to get it today, Best Buy appears to be, unless does Costco? I don't know.
I was in Costco and I did not see any desktops.
So Best Buy or because Amnon does not recommend those HPs at Staples.
No, I'm
not.
not.
Any HP computer.
So Best Buy's your shop. and there was one Lenovo desktop, 2 or 3 Dells, a couple HPs, and I think that was it. And they sell a crap ton of all-in-ones.
I mean, I was telling you about that. Well, that's an interesting thing because, for example, an all-in-one would be perfectly acceptable for your grandparents.
They didn't want to get rid of their screen.
I got it, but I'm saying if they were looking new, that would be an awesome option. I mean, that's how Apple gets away with having so many laptops, because they have a somewhat desktop in the form of an all-in-one. The problem is, how do you upgrade it?
Yeah. So yeah, that's your option if you want a standalone desktop.
Well, I'll tell you what part of the problem is, and this is, I don't know how this story ends, but the big part of the problem is that the newer processors and motherboards are really not much faster than the old ones. They're running out of ways to make dramatic improvements. The real sexy parts right now are video cards. They're offloading the speed requirement to the video card for the gamers.
I came very close, but I didn't. I came very close to buying them a Ryzen 3, which is AMD's new Ryzen chipset, is setting the processor market on fire. They're performing very comparable to Intel's, and they're at some point $250 cheaper than an Intel processor. Came very close to getting them a Ryzen. I just didn't want to. I didn't. I just for some reason didn't do it. You know what?
Do you get to choose? Do you get to choose what processor exploit you can buy it with?
Possibly. I think it was a Ryzen 3.
Well, that's why I got a Lenovo, because it already had the exploit built in. He didn't have to order it.
Yeah, it's built into the NIC.
That's
so
one,
it was.
Lenovo's the only one that comes with managed exploits. They actually control it for you from
perfect
remotely. And
then I had to convince my grandparents that they didn't need to buy McAfee, which is always a freaking ordeal. I paid for it 2 months ago. I said the reason your computer is so slow is because you buy this junk and load it on your computer, and it checks every goddamn. Every time you click the mouse, it does a full PC scan to see if you've got an exploit. I mean,
good luck taking it off.
I actually was able to uninstall it. Right, I think I was able to uninstall it from their uninstaller. Their quick scan.
But I mean, typically, I mean, if I've run into this where you go to uninstall it from Windows, it doesn't work, and you have to go to their site to get their uninstaller, so it removes all of the trash that they installed with it.
I am convinced that the next time I visit, McAfee will be installed on that system. So I kind of gave up. Tish is mentioning Micro
Center, yeah.
Which there's a couple of those around. There's one in Atlanta. That's the closest one to Raleigh.
I don't think there's one in Raleigh.
No, there's not any in Raleigh.
Atlanta is the closest one.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
She said there's a couple in Chicago. Yeah, I guess if you can find a Micro Center or a Fry's, you'd be good to go. But those are very, very far and few in between.
Right. I mean, really, if you want to find a desktop, get on eBay.
Or Craigslist.
Well, Craigslist, I mean, used ones. But on eBay, I mean, I'm talking about brand new ones.
Intrex will build exactly what you want. It's going to be more expensive than all of the above, but not dramatically so.
And you can always go back when something goes wrong.
And it won't have all that manufacturer's crap on it.
I mean, I stopped building them because of the prices.
Right.
Micro Center had, at that one time, had their own in-house store brand of assembled computers. It's kind of like buying it from what was the place I used? Drayman. Yeah, where they would buy off-the-shelf components and have a builder build a machine for you. Would say Micro Center on it, would have the latest Intel board, and not sure they do that anymore. But I bought several desktops from them for business over the years. When I was over in the Philadelphia area.
What'd you say, Mike?
Is Drayman still around?
Drayman is still around, but they don't sell to the public. They only sell to wholesale to dealers.
I don't think they ever sold to the public, did they?
No,
they didn't.
I told them a few times when the stores started dwindling around here, I said, why don't you just have a line that you sell to the public? You don't have to sell it for the same. They were afraid that the dealers are going to be pissed because they're going to undercut them. But come on, it's business.
That and the support part of it, because you get the price from them as a wholesaler because you're picking up the
Yeah,
support side of it.
right.
If they had to pick up the public support side of it,
And they weren't really good on customer service when I
No,
was there.
not. I mean, they were great for support as far as when I was buying parts from them.
Right.
But yeah, they they're fine. You know, I mean, nobody is a saint. But yeah,
But you know what? In their business, they limit what they sell to known good. Like here's the only system boards we offer. And do they still just offer Intel system boards?
well, yeah, they do, and I'm sure. I mean, the whole time they would have a certain certain collection. I mean, or the different boards that they had and the different video cards and everything worked. If you wanted to get this computer and that and this and all the parts and you put them, you know that they will work because they were testing to make sure that everything is compatible so you don't have to go back with problems. And that was great. It was really great. But the prices are, most people today are buying computers in order to be on the internet. And for that, you don't need the who knows what. I mean, as long as it works, it's fine. That's why people started buying more and more laptops and all-in-ones and things like that because they're a lot cheaper and they do what they're supposed to do.
Well, yeah, let me clarify with this. I think I said it, but I'll say it again. Laptops, all the stores had plenty of laptops. I mean, you even BJ's and Sam's Club probably had half a dozen to a dozen laptops apiece.
Well, BJ's, I think, sell HP only, and those are crap.
Okay, maybe it was. I didn't even bother looking at them. But you can get laptops, plenty of different brands and varieties in store. It's the desktops that are the problem.
Yeah. And Marshall at Snoozy's, I mean, he's got computers all over the office. They have probably about 20, 30 computers for each employee. They have a computer, and they're all desktops. And he wants to keep them standard, that he can just go between one another, and he's partial to HP. But he buys, when he always has one or two spare ones, that if something happens, he can just go take another one and put it there. But he buys them from eBay ahead of time. He buys the older generation that still has Windows 7 on them. He always looks for Windows 7 because he doesn't want to have one with Windows 7, one with Windows 10. And it works for him. I mean, when he buys an HP, it lasts and lasts and lasts. But these are the old ones. Not those new silver front and Envies and all those. And
but it sounds like he doesn't. He does not rely on HP support in any way.
No, not at all.
Buy them cheap.
Yeah, not at all.
That's the thing, right? When you buy one piece, then you need that the support will be effective.
Yeah,
and that doesn't exist in HP.
Right. So you know, I mean, really, if you want to get a computer, a desktop, you can look. You can also look on Amazon. I'm sure there are some dealers that sell new ones over there. But if you want it today, no, I agree with Nick. You have to go local to Best Buy.
Speaking of PC support and whatnot, did I talk about the Linus Tech Tip series last week on PCs?
No, I don't remember that.
They Linus Tech Tips is a very popular YouTube channel. It's got like 8 or 9 million subscribers, and they are doing a series. Like I think it's going to end up being a 4 or 5 part series where they primarily are towards the enthusiast market. So they bought 5 or 6 $1,500 gaming computers from a whole bunch of different retailers, Dell, which is Alienware, HP, which is Omen, and then a couple of other companies. And they ordered it through one of their accountants in the office, so that it was nondescript to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they went through the process of giving the manufacturers, no details saying I've got $1,500. I need a computer for my brother. I don't know anything about what I'm doing. You know, what can I get? And they did the ordering process, the shipping process, and their last episode they did, which was last week, they did a support request where a stick of RAM got knocked loose during shipping. And it was amazing to see the support on these from some of these bigger companies. I'll post the first part of it in here. They've done 3 now. They're about almost half an hour of video. It's crazy to watch.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to bring up a well-seasoned subject here. And where you think this is going to go. I have been getting calls again from family and customers where the latest Microsoft feature update broke their machines again.
Windows 10.
What?
Windows 10.
Windows 10. And I have to plan how I use my desktop around the updates now and to delay it to a certain time because it makes it unusable while it's loading. And I did discover there are some settings in there where you can throttle back how much bandwidth is used for downloading updates, because I find that really brings that i3 machine I'm on, it gets brought to its knees when it starts to load the updates and starts to load them in the background. So where is this going to go? Do people get frustrated with this to the point of wanting to go someplace else? Will people just learn to live with this? Because do you remember a time when we had to go through this like this?
No.
It's crazy. And the thing is, like, I've gone through now, to Apple's credit, when I don't get updates anymore on my MacBook. I'm not eligible past High Sierra. But when I got an update, it didn't break my Mac. And it didn't break my apps. And it didn't cause me, I had to go through a little bit of welcome screens and all that, what's new and all that kind of thing. But it did not break my machine to the point where I have people, I can't use my machine. This app won't load. I can't print right anymore. My printer drivers went away. Things happen that are unacceptable.
I know I'm going to get hit big time because I have Windows 10 Professional here on this machine because it was an upgrade from Windows 7 Ultimate. And I got in and I told it not to do any updates for 365 days.
Feature updates.
Whatever.
You can't delay security updates. I mean, you can defer it, I think, for 5 days or something like that. But you can't delay the feature update.
Maybe that's what it is. And I know that at the end of that, when it does that, it's gonna. How do you find out? Real quick, how do you find out which
version you have?
Which version you have? There was.
All right. Well, you can go to settings. Now let me open it on this machine. It's going to be
settings system.
PC settings, and then go to updates and security.
Updates.
And then check for updates.
I don't want to check for updates.
No, it doesn't. You don't have to open them.
It says your device is
update history.
It says your device is up to date. Last check today at 3 a.m.
Update feature. I'm looking now. The last thing I installed was 1709, which I'm delayed 18 whatever it is. The one. That's
that's what I want to find out.
Yeah. So you just
recovery
click on
update history. Don't have anything here. I'm afraid
I think the best way is just run system info from command line. It'll give you a report.
You could do that too.
Yeah.
Or run
system info.
System info, one word. Yeah.
So Windows R.
I do it a lot when I in my job.
If you look at advanced options under updates, you can go into delivery optimization. And this is where it comes defaulted turned on that you will share update information with computers either on your own network or on the
Oh, that's a
internet.
lot of stuff here.
I have that all turned off because I'm not going to be giving bandwidth away to anybody else.
Manufacturer, system manufacturer, but shoot, come on.
And then under that, you can go down to advanced options again, and you have download settings. And the download settings is limit how much bandwidth used for downloading updates in the background. And you can set that number. And I don't remember if I set these defaults or not. And then it has upload settings if you're actually sharing, which should be off.
I don't see anything here about the Windows version. Gal, it's all hardware stuff.
At the top, it should give you information about your system OS. I'm not in front.
Oh, OS version. There it is. Yeah. Well, that's not the numbers that we're talking about.
So take that number, paste it into Google, and you'll see.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah. I'll give you the exact version and build and everything.
But I mean, yeah, they're to go back to what Spen's talking about. It is a problem. I mean, and it's all over the net. People are complaining all over the place. I mean, Nick, you remember how many times you had to do roll back and install and roll back?
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's it's a problem, and you know, somebody technical like Nick can do it, you know. But when you sit in an office and you don't have an IT department because there are like 10 people that work in an office, what do you do when it doesn't update and the computer is rendered unusable?
Well, what in the update is rendering it unusable? Because I mean, I'll give you this. I've managed the IT for the radio station.
Yeah.
And I obviously, do the stuff at home. And the only incompatibility, if you want to call it, issue I've had with Windows 10 is the Behringer USB audio devices, but it's not global. It's just on my system because I've got other computers that I use Behringer USB device on, and I don't have that problem.
Let's not even talk about machines that are using external devices. Let's talk about standard machine.
I never had a problem. Windows 10's never broken my computer. It's screwed up my audio devices, but I'm using 3 USB.
No, if you remember, there were stories there about people saying that it's not booting anymore, and there were instructions how to take it back. And I mean, this is, for somebody who's not technical, this is a nightmare for an employer who has somebody sitting there who's not technical. This is loss of productivity. If you go in and you have to call somebody to come and do your tech work, that's an expense. I mean, it's a problem. What do you say, Gal? I'm sorry.
I mean, in enterprise situation.
No, never mind that.
That's why they have IT. But,
well, in enterprise situations, they can delay the updates too. They have the system in the background where they can say, we're not going to roll this out to our machines until we're satisfied it works right. So they have an advantage. They can test it. The average person can't.
Right. That's true. But Spence, you mentioned that Apple never caused you an issue. I do remember reports, right, that the Apple upgrade had issues the same way as Windows. It just happens when it happens. It's like with Windows, it's probably we're going to hear about it more because it's everywhere, right? I mean, it is the most installed OS out there. So whatever is going to happen, that's going to happen a lot. And Microsoft shifted to this model, 3 years ago?
Yep.
Right, with Windows 10. So
because they wanted to emulate Apple.
Well, I actually don't think it's about emulation. I mean, I think what they figured out is that they're chasing Windows XP and Windows 7 security updates, right? And they need a better way of controlling what they are working on, especially when it comes to security. Before Windows, what was it? I think Windows 7, or maybe it was way even before that, Windows XP. They made the shift of security first. I don't know if you remember all the hoopla they tried to create around that. But that was like the worst state they were, because they were never security conscious until it hit them that these machines are connected to the network, right?
Mhm.
And they are being used as drone bots, right? Just because they do not fix their crap.
Mhm.
So now, with the shift to a rolling version where they control the updates, they're basically taking the phone models, they're taking some of the new Linux operating system models, where you push everything forward because of security. But this way, you try to keep almost all of your clientele or all of your client base on the same, I'll call it here a kernel level, but on the same base level of everything.
Okay.
It makes a lot of sense, especially because of the amount of customers. Now, are we going to be hit while they clean up their act? Yes. Do we have options?
No.
Theoretically, we have, but it's
Well,
going to cost us time and knowledge.
I originally believed that when Microsoft was moving to this model, that they were trying to set themselves up to be a software subscription model, even for the OS, not just for like Office 365.
right.
I really believe that they were going to come to the point where they're going to say, okay, to stay up to date, you need to subscribe for $125 a year to keep your updates coming. I'm surprised they didn't get there.
Yeah.
But I think the big problem in Microsoft is the silos they have, where they have the Office division doesn't talk to the OS division, which doesn't talk to the cloud division, which doesn't talk to the whatever the other division is, because they just don't have they made a huge shift from pre-testing software to writing new feature software. And they scrapped that, they didn't scrap, but they gutted the testing group and put more people into developing the OS on a regular basis. I think, and that's part of the problem. They just never recovered from it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on internally. I know as a user, Windows 10 is the best stable Windows I've ever worked with.
I absolutely not. I can't.
So I don't know. It's like
enterprise perspective, maybe, but from a home user perspective, no way.
From both. So
I just because I see I get the calls. I'm getting the people call. I can read you an email now about what happened with the last update to a bunch of accountants. They can't open their apps. They can't open documents right after the update. This is unacceptable. You know, it's this.
And even if it is a problem only with this particular computer, then it's a problem with some others that have the same setup. There's only so many setups that you can have. So even if it's not across the board for everybody, it's still a problem. If you're buying a computer and you are having that problem, and you stand a chance of losing data or being unproductive or getting a heart attack because, I mean, come on, it's a problem. Any way you look at it, it is a problem.
It's definitely a problem, but
I don't mean to be.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I don't mean to be. I get very excited about this, and I realize that from an enterprise perspective, I agree with you. I think it is very stable because it's rolled out by professionals, and they know what to look for. Like you know what to look for when the new update comes out. And if you're in the IT department and you have a responsible IT department, they test the stuff before they push it out. My aunt runs a library down at a senior center down in Florida, and they just updated. They had to buy new machines because the software they used to check out books wasn't going to support Windows 7 anymore. So they had to move up. So they bought Windows 10. It took 3 months to get this stuff to work. And it's not because of the it's a cascade of things, I realize. But the learning curve for them to learn Windows 10 I spent a lot of time. I was actually there over Thanksgiving fixing a problem that just wouldn't go away. They couldn't get scanners to work. They couldn't get the barcodes to print right. The computers kept getting errors every time you'd start it up. It might work, it might not work. And they barely had enough money to buy a couple of new machines, and it just created havoc for them. They were checking out books manually because they couldn't get the system to work. And the guy who runs the software, it's a small outfit, they couldn't use their old machines because support stopped for them, and they had to move forward. So I see that kind of stuff. It just makes me crazy.
But you know what? That's an excellent example, right? So that was a shift from Windows 7 to Windows 10, which is a huge shift, right?
No, the shift was bigger from XP to 7, XP to the,
yeah. But I'm talking about this specific example, right? This is a shift from Windows 7 to Windows 10, and the whole idea of this rolling update scheme, right, is exactly to get away from these scenes, right? To try to control these better. That's what I'm thinking. That's why they did the shift, because that kept on happening. People would stagnate, mostly, my guess, mostly out of not being able either to have the computer connected to the network, or just knowledge that this is important to keep it updated, because then you're going to be prone to random hacking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we all remember the booting up XP before it was Service Pack 2, and immediately having the machine hijacked by a drone on the internet because it was vulnerable to, I don't remember the name of the worm then, right? We've seen that happen, and I think that the model of rolling this way is what is going to change that. Now, with Microsoft, they are doing a lot of things wrong as first step. It's been their staple, right? This is, I'm not here to defend them, but I do think that they're in the right direction. That's what I mean. I mean, let's face it, whether we like it or not, they're everywhere, right? So now we just need to see how we make the best of it. And I think that in this situation, that library, now that everything is properly working on Windows 10, they're probably better off from this point forward. At least that's what I hope, right? I really hope I'm right here, and if not, hell.
No, I think
I'm always trying to find an alternative.
I think
I
you're
haven't
right.
found a good one.
I mean, I think you're totally right, Carl. I mean, you just look at. I'm sorry to throw you under the bus, Amnon, but you look at people in Amnon's case where he just refuses to update.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he just refuses to update. Doesn't want to break what's working right, and that, I mean, that makes it really tough for Microsoft to deal with an OS when people just refuse to update. And he's not the only one. There's
I agree. Let him deal with it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but Amnon, you're doing something very, very dangerous. You're not updating the OS. The machine is connected to the network, and you're every week you broadcast over the internet that, hey, this machine is, you can hack it.
Amnon's still producing the show on Windows Me. It's great. It looks fantastic.
Oh, Bob. Windows Bob. That's his main go-to machine.
Never say that word again. Windows Me? Come on.
All right, now wait a second, guys. What's that?
Good morning.
What's going on, Andrew?
Hey,
Merry Christmas.
Nick, I got really confused. I thought I was watching a replay from a couple years ago. I was waiting for Bruce Turner to show up. you sitting there in your parents' house is really weird to me. You're a big boy now.
I got the whole set. I know. I got the whole set here. It's looking good. Got my iPod. What was this iPod called? The iPod Nano? Is that what this thing was?
I think so.
Yeah, I got this thing. A whole 1 gigabyte of storage. It's a hot item over here.
You know, you look old, but Mike Phillips looks young as always.
What's that, Mike? Oh, Mike's got one too.
Andrew, don't insult me.
You look beautiful. How are you?
Don't insult me. Don't call me old.
I actually had a scoop, Amnon. I had a scoop for you. I was told a couple of weeks ago. I broke it on What the Tech this week, but I don't know if you saw The Verge and everybody picked up my story that Microsoft is releasing 2 webcams this year, and they're 4K. And one of them is for enterprise, and the other one is going to be compatible with the Xbox, so you can stream directly from the Xbox.
Their last camera was the LifeCam Cinema, I believe, and that's an old camera. That's
well,
like
the studio, right? The studio.
The studio, yes.
Yeah.
I forgot about the studio.
Yeah, so you're talking about 5 years ago.
Yeah, Cinema was before that, probably 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah. But I thought you would find that interesting, and I had a couple minutes here since I put a soundproof door in my studio, so.
Why'd you have to put a soundproof door in your studio, Andrew?
Oh,
a lot of commotion going on in the house?
There it is.
Oh, look at that.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, we didn't see it.
Hold on, Emma. Here.
Oh.
So you can lock yourself in there?
Yeah. It's like it's screaming, crying here, and nobody can hear.
There you go.
No, I had to put it because of the kids, and I'm back to doing podcasts full time.
Ah, he's returned from the dead of pod fading.
Yeah.
Nice, Andrew.
I just wanted to call and say hello to you guys. It's been a while, so
it's been
I think I'll be
too
around
long.
a little bit more on Sundays. So,
what shows are you back doing?
Well, more of a consistent schedule. Matt Men, What the Tech, and then I actually want to talk to Mike because there is a possibility I'm bringing the IIB Spotlight back, but I'm going to rename it something else.
The what?
Mike will be your first guest.
Why would you talk to me about it? You have my permission.
Wait. What did you say? The what?
The IAIB Spotlight.
What is IAIB?
I don't know. I don't remember what it is either.
International Association of Internet Broadcasters.
Yeah, but I'm starting it, but I'm redoing it to something else.
Not officially sanctioned by Todd.
Oh yes.
No, but Todd is approved by the IAB to comply with metrics.
Right.
Yeah, big news.
Oh boy.
Big news.
Well, they'll accurately report how many bots hit your download.
Yeah, that's what it really comes down to.
Well, Amna, what's the Andrew? What's the hot Christmas item this year?
Oh, listen, hey Nick, thanks for having me on. The hot Christmas item this year has to be the Amazon Echo.
Still, it's been the hot item at least 2 or 3 years
ago. So
he's talking 5 years ago.
I spoke to Amazon because I wanted to get an idea of what was going on this house. They said it's all the assistants, the home assistant, like the Google Home, the Amazon Echo, and then all the other devices, the third-party devices that support Alexa, and smart lights. Tons of smart lights. That's what everybody's buying this year.
I had an interesting conversation with my grandmother yesterday. She has seen all these commercials for the Google Home, Home thing, and the Echo Show, the one with the screen on it.
Yeah, she wants it, right?
She's like, I'd love to have this thing in the kitchen so that I can ask it to, recipes for this. What is that? Which is I found interesting. I mean, I have no interest in that, but
that's a target demo. That's
for
what
sure.
They want, right? And it's working because those hub sales, they were selling for $100 during Black Friday. It's $125 now. It's not bad at all for what it is. I don't know what the future of that device is going to be, but to be able to have your YouTube and your music and look up recipes and everything on some disposable appliance that's sitting in your kitchen, I don't I think a lot of people are going to buy that.
Well, Facebook's got their new portal system, which they've been advertising like crazy with.
Mm-hmm.
Which is their video chat service, it appears.
But did you guys see the reports that the Google Assistant beat Alexa for accuracy, for speed of answering, for better answers, and all that? They were saying that
will still not help them.
Well, I'm just saying it's interesting.
Oh no, I know for a fact that they're better, but I'm using Alexa because it's a lot easier to get it working, and it's already there, right? Once they're in the house, then it's a battle of which one will win. I agree. The Google product is better quality when it comes to the engineering, right? To the software engineering.
Well, it's newer. Anything newer is going to be better.
But not by much. But
just by a year. By the way,
not by much. They've really they haven't been very receptive with working with other companies. That's been Google's problem, and Amazon has really had an advantage of allowing, being compliant with other companies and incorporating everything in it. Spotify for the longest time on my Google Home did not work accurately. It no matter how many times I would set it as default, it wouldn't pick it for the music. But recently started working again. So Amazon, I never had that problem with.
Huh? Uh-oh.
Well, and I think, I mean, it really comes down to the third-party support. I mean, a third-party device support. You look at why Apple's HomeKit is never going to take off. It's because they don't want anybody to work with their damn software. So nothing supports HomeKit except for a few. I think the Nest does, but a couple devices.
Movement is going to go away from anything that requires a hub to direct support by Alexa now. A lot of the products you see coming out, especially knockoffs, like Andrew was saying with light bulbs, direct support with an app on your phone or with Alexa, no hub required. Yeah. But it does use more resources on Wi-Fi, obviously, than going across
power and Wi-Fi.
Wave.
Well, what else is happening is, and it's interesting, and you see it with Amazon and their Alexa, and not so much with Google, but third-party manufacturers of other types of devices. So I saw the other day, it was one of the hottest items on Amazon. It was a smoke detector, a carbon monoxide detector, a speaker, and an Alexa. So eventually, you're going to have all these stupid devices that you're going to overpay for, and it's going to be in every room, and you're not going to need an Echo. You're just going to have Alexa-enabled light bulbs and Alexa-enabled light switches and Alexa-enabled fire detectors, and that's how the house is going to be connected.
The problem that I have with all these is that you still depend on the internet. I mean, I don't see why they can't do it. They put some memory into this assistant, and even if you're not on the internet, at least you'll be able to turn that light off and that light on because it's all local. It doesn't need to go all the way up to California and come back and turn the light on.
Yeah, you're right that it doesn't need to, but right now it's the only solution to make it simple so grandma can just switch on the light bulb.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Grandma's got to log into a CMD terminal to turn the turn the light on.
Exactly.
Grandma created an intranet.
There is a very interesting project called Mycroft, which is basically the Google Home Assistant and the Alexa app with the AI that answers questions and all that in an open source environment. Completely open source project where you can either install it on a Raspberry Pi or buy the hardware from them, right? And you can set up this AI, this smart AI at home, but the setup is complex. The reason all of this works by internet is because the server is managed by a company that knows what they're doing. And when you get the appliance back at home, all it needs to do, right? All they need to think about on the setup is how do they make your phone set up the Wi-Fi properly, and that's it. You're done. It's gonna work, right? That's the thing. The server, the complexity is done on the server. The complexity of the requests, of the just processing. It's not just memory; it's processor power, right? All of that is done remotely, and because bandwidth is no longer an issue for most homes, then that's why it works. So until I don't think we're going to see it go away.
I love the convenience, but I'm terrified by the possibilities of what is being done with all the information that's being collected. Did you see the article? Or that, apparently Amazon applied for a patent for their Amazon doorbell that has facial recognition opt-in built into it that says that you can start to surveil your neighborhood and use facial recognition to look for bad actors in your neighborhood. Where does that information go? And what do they do when they have a false positive? So now they're talking about how they will actually use like postal service logos to say that this guy is okay. Well, what if you go and buy a postal service logo and put it on your jacket and walk up to the door? Oh, you're cleared. You're a good guy. But the guy who walks up, who looks like some guy in Utah that's on some list because he looks like him, is now
like Andrew.
Is going to
me. I'm on a lot of lists. Trust me.
Gonna cause
Every bar in the neighborhood has a picture. Do not let this man in.
No,
Well,
I mean, did you see?
Because
Don't go where it's going. Did you see now that this guy was asking for his recordings, and they send him recordings of his neighbor or some other?
Oh no! That's the other article.
It's ridiculous.
Really? Yep. Yeah.
I didn't even know you can do that, to ask him for the recording.
It was a case in.
Well, that's probably part of GDPR.
I'm gonna give you guys a crazy example. Yesterday, my brother bought a motorcycle, and we were talking about I was at a bar, by the way. We were talking about, he bought a Honda, and I was asking, and he goes, it's a little small, it's 250, it's my first bike, but I want to get a Honda Shadow. And I went to Google because I didn't know the bike. I put in Honda in Google, and the first thing that came up was Honda Shadow.
My neighbors, I told my neighbors about a specific bed that we bought, and they have no Alexa or Google Home in their house. And he was talking to his wife at the table, and they had 2 Google phones on the table, and they talk about this brand of foam mattress. And what comes up the next time he logs into his computer but ads for that mattress?
Let me ask you, was it a Casper? Because if you use offer code Andrew at checkout, you get $50 off your first purchase. That's Casper.com/Andrew.
It was a Nectar. It was a Nectar.
It's a little scary, right? I told the bone broth. I've done the bone broth story a bunch of times, but I was in California. I'm talking to Spencer, and not this Spencer, the other right. Spencer. And we were just having a conversation, and he brought up that he was, he had bone broth, and it's supposedly really healthy and really good for you. And what do I know? On Facebook, I have a bone broth ad. I wasn't searching Facebook. My phone was off. I never searched for it. And it just so happened that a bone broth ad came up. What are the odds? That's not a coincidence.
Yeah, but he probably does search bone broth, right?
Yeah.
And you are friends on Facebook, right?
And we're friends on Facebook, yeah.
So the phones know that you two were in the same location.
That's amazing, right? That's scary.
Right? Yeah, it has nothing to do with the microphone. It just connects the dots.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's a lot easier when you look at the when you look at the metadata stream, it's a lot easier to understand this than the theory of having the phone record the audio, because that's much more complex than just following the metadata.
But Facebook has said if the app is open, the microphone is enabled.
Yeah, so what? So the microphone is also open, so you can say Alexa and OK Google.
Yeah.
But actively recording, right, is not just the microphone open, it's much more. Battery drain would be terrible. It'll be the number one app that drains your battery, right? Stuff like that. They cannot allow themselves to do that because they don't have a way to solve it. That's one. The other is the voice recognition CPU utilization is still high. That costs a lot of money. There are better ways for them to get that data than to analyze the voices of everyone. It's just not as effective. That's why it's just this urban myth story. I'm not saying it won't get there, but at this point, following the metadata is a lot easier.
But what was the story that Google is actually actively recording bits and pieces, right? And they store it.
Well, I think whenever you can clearly see it with Alexa, with the echoes. You talk about something, you say something, and suddenly it lights up, right? Because it thinks it heard its wake word. And then it shuts down because the analysis shows that it was out of context or whatever, right? It didn't even speak. It just lit up for a second, then switched off. I'm pretty sure that bit is completely recorded from the moment what it thought was a wake word was switched on, right, to when it switched off. That's completely recorded, and not only that, it's probably being sent to the server and kept there for analysis.
But the something is analyzing real-time conversations to look for the word. So it means it's always listening. It's always listening for the word.
But that's local. So listening for a specific
who told us
wave
local,
structure, that's local. No. I mean,
remember. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say what you said, Gal, about the battery is true, but they can also. I mean, how many people do you know that carry the phone and don't charge it all day long? Not many. Most people would come to the office and plug it in. They can have something there that says, if plugged in, turn on the mic. They have the ability to do that. So it's not going...
But in the modern OSs today, you have the ability of switching off the microphone for any application.
Absolutely. Yeah, so, there are, but most people don't think about this. That's where they're taking advantage of us, because not everybody thinks about it.
Well, in a way today, you cannot not think about it, because the moment you install the app, the first thing it asks you is for permission. And if you don't allow, most app will be okay with that. So it's not like the app won't work, right? It's when it comes to the privacy concerning the external devices that listen to you, we're in a better situation today. Okay.
Hopefully.
I'm not saying we're not out in the clear. And definitely, Big Brother, they want to get everything they can about whatever they can.
Sure.
But there's still cost involved. So there's they're looking for the easiest way for them to get as much information about you without them developing any even proprietary solution, right? That will allow them to get information they already have. So if they can get it from the metadata, that's easy. And just matching whether friends are in the same 50 feet to one another, that's a lot easier than tracking the voice analysis. Now, as it comes for listening for wavelengths and switching on and whether it's local or not, the easiest thing is to do is unhook it from the net, right? Just shut down your router, and you'll see that it still answers to the wake word. It just says, hey, I can't connect.
So wait a minute, I'll give you an example. If you go to myactivity.google.com, if you've ever used voice search, it stores it all there. And you can have a recording of your search.
Say that again. If you
use voice search, so like on my Android phone, I tend to always do voice search.
Yeah.
If you use that, it's all the searches are recorded and stored.
Well, I mean,
myactivity.google.com.
I think even if you type it, it's like that.
Even if you type it, if you type it. But the question that people have is, okay, at what point are they going to maybe open it up and keep it local and do local search? I mean, that's the question that people put out there. But a lot of people are also upset that they didn't know that they're being recorded.
Right.
Well,
right.
Listen, we all know.
Well,
my whole thing is I'm on the internet. Whatever I'm searching for, whatever I do, I know that it's stored somewhere. So there's no anonymity in that case. But a lot of people were very surprised that you could actually go back and search and see, what you've looked, and it's actually recorded. It's there.
Well, I mean, if you go on your Alexa app, there's a section there that shows you all the commands, all the talk that you did with Alexa is right there. But it's text, but it's there.
No, you have the recording.
You can listen to it.
You can listen to your voice. Yeah.
Hold on, I'll do it right now. Hold on.
So
let me see. Let me go to
amazing.
Let me go to March 17, 2017. I don't know if you could hear this.
266 East 54th Street.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
So it's there. I mean, it's just totally stored.
Yeah.
It's all the voice searches that I've ever done.
Yeah. A lot of people are not aware of this. They
Yeah,
just,
but
they just,
that's why they have computers 2K now.
yeah, well, absolutely.
And we need to force everybody to listen to the show.
Yeah, and start tracking the stats, man.
So I found it's interesting. It says that a fraction of a second before the recording begins. So if Alexa's listening locally, it will record the last thing you say before you say the wake word, and that's the only part of it that's supposedly recorded.
Yeah, probably 500 milliseconds or something before that.
It's
because there's a cache. It's called a sliding window. Yeah, so you look for a buffer. That makes sense.
So what does the NSA do with this stuff, and how do they control it?
I think the NSA would kill to have that access.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know how much of that they have. I don't think legitimately they have anything. But I mean, if they do have some backdoor, yeah, I'm sure they enjoy. There's an excellent. It's some work of some engineering faculty where they created, instead of an ad blocker, something that along of blocking the ads from appearing on the page, it creates random clicks for ads while you're browsing. So the profile that's built for you cannot be traced to you. It's just creating this random noise. So that was one part of it. And the other part was a plugin to the browser where it creates random searches on your profile. So your profile that is being built, whoever is tracking you is not seeing you, right? Because your actual activity is hidden inside this huge amount of noise that is also collected about you. So that's like, instead of just hiding, it's hiding in plain sight, right? Like, yeah. So maybe somebody will come up with hacks for Alexa and Google Assistant for that type of noise creating.
All right, it's already 10:15. Spence, you want to do the specials?
Sure.
So, guys, I'm gonna run. I just want to say hello and happy holidays, Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
New Year. I'll see you guys in next year.
All right.
See you guys.
See you, Andrew.
I'll catch the specials afterwards offline. I gotta go.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
see you later,
guys.
Gal.
Have fun, Gal.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy, Gal.
All right. So what I did today was, because it's only 2 days till Christmas, or even not even 2 days yet left, I went and I looked online at our favorite 3 retailers and see what was available for purchase online, pick up in the store.
Mm-hmm.
So all these things, now I can't verify it for your store, but I did verify it for my store that these things actually were in stock. So it took a little longer this morning to do this. And as I went through this, you can see there's less content the further I got along, because it got to be so tedious. But the least supportive of this concept was Office Depot Office Max today, because you had to go and click on the item to check that it was even available for store lookup first. All the ones that were available for store lookup or store purchase, you could filter at Best Buy and Staples by saying in-store pickup and just look at that list. And then you could click on to find out if it's available in your store. At Office Depot, Office Max, you had to click on the device, then just to see if it says available for store pickup, then click to see if it's available at your store.
Okay.
So it was, and then usually they'd say limited availability. So there was no real confirmation. And you had to put it into the cart to see the limited availability. So, not the best situation, but there's a lot of stuff out there, large items, small items, that are very good gifts and on sale, which I'm surprised, to be honest, because usually towards the end of end of the shopping season, the sales start to go away because I know people are desperate. Okay, starting with staples. So we have Computer Truque now. Last minute gifts for 2018. And we have a Logitech K780 wireless keyboard and mouse combo for $64.99, which is $10 off. Logitech M330 Silent Plus Advanced Optical Mouse. Now, I wasn't aware that there are many mice out there that make noise. But this one, if you're looking for one that's really quiet, here you go. It's half price for $14.99. They have a Staples 4-port USB 3 hub for $21.44, which is 28% off the regular price. They have a Staples USB 2.0 travel hub for $14.24, which is 25% off. Staples 10-pack of 16 gig USB 2.0 flash drives. So you need to give out little gifts to a group of people. Hey, $60, which is $30 off the regular price. HP solid state 500 gig drive for $79.99, which is 38% off the regular price. Acer 23.8-inch widescreen monitor for $99, which is $50 off the regular price. We have a Dell 31.5-inch HD monitor for $139, which is $80 off the regular price. Google Wi-Fi AC1200 dual band whole house access point router for $99, save $30. 2-pack of Amazon Fire Stick with Alexa voice remote for $39. You'll use a code to purchase the two-pack. $39. So if you're going to give more than one, there you go. We have a APC 650 VA battery backup system for $59, which is $25 off the regular price. Apple 9.7-inch iPad with 32 gig for $289, which is $40 off the regular price. Amazon Fire HD tablet for $49, save $30. We have an HP Intel Core i3 laptop for $399. That's $130 off regular price. HP Pavilion i7 for $629, which is $200 off the regular price. TP-Link Casa Smart Wi-Fi plug 2 outlets. So it lets you control 2 devices. It's actually independent control of each device. $32.99, save $7. It is not a dimmer. It's just a switch. Circle 2 wired indoor-outdoor security camera for $119. That's $60 off the regular price. And that's made by Logi. Ecobee, there's 2 versions of Ecobee that are out there that are on special. One is the Ecobee Lite, which is just the thermostat with no sensors, no Alexa, for $139. That's $30 off. And then they have the Ecobee 4, which is the Alexa enabled with 1 remote sensor for $199, which is still a really good deal. That's $50 off the regular price. I'm a real fan of Ecobee stuff. I installed several for customers. And if you can't figure out what to give that person, you can give them a traditional Bloody Mary gift set for that morning after. There you go for $43.99. I mean, why wouldn't Staples have something like this, right? Okay, moving on to Office Depot, Office Max. Again, a little bit hard to drill down on what's in the store. You can do it, but it's not as easy a shopping experience. But these things all are store availability. I can't say if it's available in your store. We've got a Dell 15.6-inch gaming laptop, Core i7 for $849. That's $250 off. HP 27-inch curved monitor for $199. That's $100 off. Got USB 3.0 32 gig flash drives for $999. That's $15 off the regular price. Here is that same battery backup, APC battery backup, 650 VA. This is for $64.99, 10 off. If you're going to get a laser printer, you want something reliable, high duty cycle, relatively inexpensive toner. Look at this one, the Brother L2370DW, D for duplex, W for wireless, $99, $30 off. Netgear Nighthawk AC 1900 dual band Wi-Fi router for $149, which is $30 off. If you're looking to support a multimedia PC, we've got the Logitech K400 wireless touch keyboard. It's with its own glide pad built into it, so much easier to control a media center PC. Could even be a laptop too. It doesn't matter.
It could be a TV too.
Could be. It could be. Depends on the device.
Yeah.
VidBox Video Conversion Suite. There are other products out there that are cheaper, but VidBox does a really good job of making it easy for the layman to go in there and to try to capture old VCR tapes, convert videos, and that so on. It does have the USB connected conversion device. It comes with a full suite of software, but it's you can get them. I bought something that was about $30 with the conversion device and the software. It's okay, not the best. It's hard to use, but I was able to use it okay. But if you're looking for something easy, they do a good job. That's $79, which is 20 off. Logitech C22 ProStream 2 megapixel USB webcam for $79.99, which is 20 off. WorkPro Quantum 9000 mesh chair, $299, which is $80 off. If you're looking to upgrade your office chair or somebody else's office chair, wouldn't go with a real cheap mesh chair. They tend to be really low quality. Studio Limble computer desk for $74.99. Inexpensive. I mean, it's kind of high tech looking. I don't know. I can't vouch for the quality, but it is half price. Normally $149 for $74.99. And finally, this is for you, Amnon. It is a Post-it pop-up note dispenser that looks like a cat for $7.99. I think you should give everybody one of those for Christmas.
Yeah.
And finally, Best Buy. These are all, again, verified in-store items that you can check and click to buy and go pick it up. Ready in 1 hour. Apple TV 4K 64 gig, latest model, latest features, $199, save $50. A Lenovo 15.6-inch AMD Ryzen 5 laptop for $419, which is $80 off. HP Pavilion 2-in-1 11.6-inch touchscreen laptop with a quad-core Pentium 4 gig of memory for $329, $70 off. Now here, there's Walmart actually carries boxes like this. This is a digital TV receiver converters with a built-in video recorder. Now the video recorder, it's not local, it doesn't have a built-in drive. You have to plug in a USB drive or a flash drive to record to. $29, it's half price. They normally sell them just for $49. The Allure Tech, and there's another brand. I think it's a more well-known brand. They sell them at Walmart for $39 and $49 respectively. So if you're trying to cut the cord and try to watch broadcast television and record it, does not give you a way to play it back over the internet like some of the systems do, where it actually has a host somewhere that will look at your recorded video and play it back to your remote device. It does not do that. This is a very basic recorder, but worth a look. And here is, and that's $29, which is $20 off. Roku Ultra Streaming Media Player with Rocketfish Ultra Thin Digital TV Antenna. So it's kind of a cord cutter's kit. You have the Roku for streaming and you have the antenna for watching broadcast television. You could use the antenna with the Allure Tech to record local digital TV. So you can get set up for about $130. That's $99.98, save $50. If you're going on a long trip, you want to keep the kids quiet in the back, Insignia 9-inch dual portable DVD players for $99. It's a clearance item. It's $80 off. If you want to give somebody the starter kit to get into not only controlling lighting, but also starting to build some automation into your home, $119 for the Philips Hue Color 3-pack starter kit with light switch and their hub for $119 on sale, say $70. You're looking to solve some Wi-Fi issues around your house where you want to have better coverage and you want to there's a lot of brands out there. Netgear makes it. I'm trying to remember the other brand.
This is a tri-band.
Everybody makes it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. But this is the Orbi AC2200 tri-band mesh system with 3. It's got the base station and 2 remotes. It actually builds a backhaul network using Wi-Fi, and then we'll do load balancing and streaming across this system. $199, which is $100 off the regular price. JBL Charge 3 wireless Bluetooth speaker. I stayed overnight in a hotel coming back from Atlanta this week where I must have been I was next to somebody in another room who decided he was going to play music, probably brought in a speaker because obviously it was not coming off the television. And I actually had to move my room because I kept calling this person, they wouldn't answer, and kept the music going well into the night. But this is probably what he was using, something like this with a slammer woofer built into it. But take it with you to annoy your neighbors. It's always fun.
Yeah.
Bluetooth speaker, $99. It's $50 off from JBL. HP 27-inch monitor for $119. That's $130 off. Now,
wow.
That is a deal. That is a deal.
That is a deal.
It is a good deal. Epson Workforce ES500W wireless document scanner. These are the ones that automatically scan both sides. They have a document feeder built in. $299, $100 off. These are normally expensive like this, but I think FujiScan was the one that's probably the premier one that started the industry with these types of devices. But the Epson one is also highly rated, and at this price is a good deal. And finally, Amnon, this is for your studio, is you need to put in the Samsung Gear 360 Real 360-degree 4K virtual reality camera. We want to be able to have a live virtual reality feed from your studio at all times.
Is it going to make it real in here?
It will. It will. People will be able to put on their virtual reality helmets with their and literally feel like they're sitting in the studio. Turn this way, turn that way. $79, which is $70 off the regular price. And happy shopping. It's almost done. If you're running out today to look for stuff, good luck. But at least here you can check on some things and find out if it's in your store, order it and go pick it up. Some places are offering concierge services where you call and I'm out front and they'll actually come out and give it to you in your car. I don't know who of these retailers does it, but some people are doing it for all those lazy people out there who can't get out of their car. Well, I mean, if you can't get out of your car, that's a different story. But if you don't want to get out of your car, I'm sorry.
All right. Thanks, Spence.
All right. You're welcome.
Good information for the last minute.
Yes, for the last minute.
Yep. 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. So we were talking earlier about, Amazon and shipping and all that. I didn't know this. Bottom line, Amazon is wise to create its own air transportation network. By cutting out the middleman, Amazon is saving money and gets to move products around the country on its own schedule. FedEx and UPS can't be too happy with these developments. Amazon on Friday announced it's leasing 10 additional Boeing 767-300 cargo planes for its Amazon Air operation, pushing its total fleet to 50 aircraft. Man!
Well, I'll make a prediction.
Yeah.
Several predictions. First is that Amazon's going to end up competing head-to-head with FedEx and UPS because FedEx and UPS have totally abandoned this consumer, the individual shippers.
Yeah.
I've got to ship a piece of equipment to Arizona. I am absolutely not looking forward to what it's going to cost. I'm going to ship it FedEx Ground because I have a $5 coupon to ship it. But I shipped a little 16-pound package to Tennessee. It was $29.
Oof.
Yeah, well, I mean, they'll be smart to do it.
What?
I said
they're too bad. I used to do a lot of shipping with FedEx to trade shows of like 100-pound boxes, and unbelievable what I was paying.
So I ordered something from Amazon that weighs about 34 pounds and with free shipping, and it cost $44.
But it's subsidized by Amazon.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And so I think that what they're going to end up doing is they're going to end up competing with this kind of markup for the consumer, with Amazon being Amazon probably, I can't speak for them because I don't know what they're doing and I hate them. But although I'll use them if they'll come in half the price of FedEx or UPS, I hate them too. So what happens though is that I suspect that Amazon will not in the near future have the capacity to go out and take on major shippers like FedEx and UPS do, because FedEx and UPS go in and cut extremely lucrative deals with these major shippers.
Right.
For example,
it's going to take time. You're right.
And they go in and what we paid $29 to ship, I bet they don't pay $12. It's got to be a dramatically different price. We're subsidizing those shippers. Now, having said that, yes, okay, we got the retail stores and all, but I don't care about all that. I mean, couldn't care less about a retail store. All I'm telling you is that by FedEx and UPS jacking their prices up the way they have done in the last 2 years, they have created a void for a competitor. They've done it to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Whether Amazon may come along and say, you know what, we didn't realize how expensive it would be to ship using the average customer and all that. But wait a minute, we now own, what do they own? Whole Foods?
Yep.
All right, so we'll put a kiosk in there and you can walk into and at least ship it Whole Foods to Whole Foods and ship it for half the price that you would do a FedEx Ground. And believe it or not,
do that.
Huh?
Did you hear what Bezos said at one of their big employee meetings recently?
I never listened to Bezos, but no, I have not heard.
I didn't. I just got the quote. I read the quote. He said, "Our job, Amazon will eventually go bankrupt. It's our job to delay that as long as possible."
Okay, well then he's an idiot.
But I've worked for companies that lived by that rule.
Well, it's interesting because what? Why are we all talking at the same time? Go ahead, Amnon.
Oh no, I mean, keep going. I mean, I've got another thing about the Whole Foods. Go ahead.
So here's the point. What he's saying is eventually.
Okay, we have a caller. I think this is where it's coming from.
Okay, go ahead, caller.
Yeah, it's Gene. Good morning. How's everybody?
Hi, Gene.
Hey.
Hey, I got maybe a simple puzzle for you. And I don't know whether it happened because of an update or not, but all of a sudden, you know how when you go to a website and let's say you bought something and they give you a receipt and they say you can print it. So it says print. And usually when you hit print, it'll go, it's a PDF most of the time. It'll go and, it'll open up your print dialog. Well, all of a sudden, every time I do that, it doesn't open up a print dialog. What it does, it downloads PDF file. And then I got to go to the downloads and I got to open a file and then go to print. So it doesn't automatically go to print anymore.
What browser?
Now, if I want to print a document, so if I just got a doc someplace and I want to print it, it's fine. So the printer works fine. It's just that from a website, I cannot go directly to my print dialog anymore.
Is it every site that does that?
Yes, multiple sites.
What browser?
Mozilla Firefox.
There was an update recently where I had the same issue. You'll have to go in and look at tweaking the settings. Something happens with what actions are taken when you click on a file to print it, and you can customize it. The newer versions of Firefox have more options for what to do with the file, and it depends on what add-ins you have for dealing with PDFs. So take a look, do a Google search on it, and see if there isn't a way to tweak Firefox for actions related to opening PDF files.
Okay.
I did see this. I saw this.
Yeah. All right, because it is very frustrating, and it just suddenly, popped out of. Maybe it's because I did an update to Mozilla.
Yeah, what happened to me was I had put off Firefox updates on my Mac. I just turned them off, and it turns out I was pretty far back, and it was going to be a security issue. So I finally went ahead and upgraded to the latest one, and that's when it broke. And I had to go in and tweak some things. I went too far, and I went too far ahead in the next version, when probably wouldn't have run into this problem if I had kept up with incremental updates.
Let me ask you a question. If I just uninstall Mozilla and then reinstall it, you think that would fix it?
Oh, I don't know. I think you try it. I mean, it's going to save your settings, unless when you uninstall it. I don't know if Mozilla offers to erase all your settings, but typically it saves your settings.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks. So you think it's in the Mozilla settings? That's probably what I was thinking.
I think it's
too,
in there. Yeah, because if it's normal otherwise, check to see that the add-in is enabled too. If you whatever PDF Mozilla has built-in PDF viewing now. It doesn't require a separate add-in, but if you have an add-in that you put in there in the past, maybe it's conflicting with Mozilla.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for calling, Gene.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Talk to you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, Mike. Mike.
Yes.
Go ahead, dude. Finish.
I have no idea what I was talking about.
About Bezos being stupid.
Oh, well, I mean, you can be a genius and be stupid, but the whole point about the point he's making is a valid business point, is that it's our day in the sun. Eventually the tide will turn. It will not be our day in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Netscape at one point was threatened. They were threatened with suit for monopoly because they controlled the entire browser market, and it was unfair. Then IE had the same problem. The fact is that if what he's saying is true, and it probably is true, that at some day they will be supplanted by someone else, then with that knowledge, he's such a business genius in his own mind. Why doesn't he have an exit plan such that when certain key economic indicators are met, you do an orderly shutdown and not have to fire people at Christmas and all that kind of stuff? Why is it we're going to go bankrupt? How about an orderly shutdown? Why does it have to be bankruptcy? I don't buy that. Bankruptcy hurts people.
Here's his quote. This is, "One day Amazon will fail, but our job is to delay it as long as possible."
Okay, that's not you said bankruptcy before.
I did say bankruptcy, and I think of the article I was reading was implying that. So
yeah, and it may have, but
fail is just as bad.
Every investor who knows his butt from anyway will have an exit strategy. So that's probably just not only is it just probably a throwaway comment, it's probably misquoted by the written medium that reported it, like everything else is.
The context is he was asked what his thoughts were behind the recent bankruptcies of Sears and other big retailers.
Okay, so that's
directly related to bankruptcy.
Well, okay, but he's saying they will fail. He doesn't say that they are necessarily going to go back. And I know I'm splitting legal hairs here, but the bankruptcy is very, very harsh on people who trust you.
Oh, I've lived through two of them. I know exactly what you're saying.
It's very, very tough. I mean, people who trust you and extend credit to you, and then you stick them with bankruptcy because you don't have an exit strategy for your business, shame on you.
He's trying to say, and that there was that company lifespans tend to be 30 years or so, not 100 years anymore, and that
So listen to this. We were talking about Whole Foods. Amazon is struggling in the 840 billion grocery market, more than a year after it spoke the industry with the 13.7 billion acquisition of Whole Foods last year. The number of Amazon Prime members who shop for groceries at least once a month declined in 2018 compared with 2017, according to the results of an annual consumer survey released Wednesday by UBS analysts. The report says that the drop was surprising given the company's Whole Foods investment and expansion of 2-hour delivery service Prime Now. And they wrote that in a note to investors. They didn't put it just as a piece of information out there. This was a note to investors.
Some of the analysis around this is that they went ahead and implemented a new inventory system in the stores that the employees hated, that the customers hated, because they were going to do more what they called real-time delivery. And it was upsetting the stock in the stores and stuff. They were running out of stuff when they never did before. And so the whole model behind why people love Whole Foods and were willing to pay a premium to go shop there was gone. You're still paying the premium, but they didn't have what you wanted. No. And he also, I mean, it was not even in any way veiled. He bought Amazon, he bought Whole Foods to create a new distribution point and have a physical presence in all these different places that he could use, like Mike was saying, for shipping. And I think that he might have got out ahead of himself there.
But he can recover from that. That's not I mean, it's people who like Whole Foods don't have a lot of alternatives. They're somewhat unique. If he's made them mad, he can get them back.
Yeah, it's like Apple.
If he cares.
Well, he cares because making money for guys like him is ego. Ego is the second strongest driving force in the universe.
Yep. All right. So now let's switch to Apple.
No, we don't switch to Apple. We use PCs.
Apple has confirmed that some of its 2018 iPad Pros are shipped with a very slight bend in the aluminum chassis.
Well, that's intentional. They do that on purpose. They have that there for a reason. So what's the good reason that they need that?
But according to the company,
water flows off of it easily.
They're saying, according to the company, this is a side effect of the device's manufacturing process and shouldn't worsen over time or negatively affect the flagship iPad's performance in any practical way. Apple does not consider it to be a defect. The bend is a result of a cooling process during manufacturing. So there's a bend there, but it's not going to affect you. Now, if you want to change it, they said that you can. You can take it back, you can send it back and get a straight one. But to minimize it, geez.
If I have a chair it's wobbling a little bit and I slide the iPad under it to keep it from wobbling,
you can sit on it and kind of bend it back, right? It's just amazing that they can just minimize it like that and say, oh well, it's just a side effect. Who is on AT&T wireless?
I am.
Well, if you buy a new phone, you're going to get 5G. You heard that, right?
Oh, yeah. They're going to slap a sticker on it. It's really great.
Yeah, but it's not what you think.
AT&T customers will start to see a 5G logo appear in the corner of their smartphones next year. Not because they're using a 5G phone connected to a 5G network, but because AT&T is going to start pretending its most advanced 4G LTE tech is 5G. According to Fierce Wireless, AT&T will display an icon reading 5G E on newer phones that are connected to LTE in markets where the carrier has deployed a handful of speed boosting. But still, definitely 4G. The E displayed smaller than the rest of the logo refers to 5G evolution, the carrier's term for networks that aren't quite 5G but still faster than traditional LTE. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, what are you trying to do? I mean, so they put something there to show you that you're 5G.
I remember a salesperson telling me, "Don't confuse marketing with selling."
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's just amazing that hey, let's take a Pentium and put on it an i7. Let's just.
But Apple does. Works great for them.
Let's see what the where was it? It says this article, this thing is kind of what just happened. Last month saw several reports that claimed Apple was slashing production of its newest iPhones due to it overestimating their popularity. Now, an analyst says more massive cuts could arrive in March, in the March quarter of 2019. So they're cutting back and back and back. Apparently, they're not selling because their iPhone 7, I guess, is good. Or iPhone 9 is no, there's no 9. People are just not buying it.
Could it have something to do with Cook's swarmy attitude about, well, if you don't conform to our social norms, and we don't want you as a customer? I think it might have something to do with that.
I think it might, but I realistically think they are releasing these phones now with such. So they made the big switch. The iPhone 4 and 5 were pretty much the same. The iPhone 6 was totally different. And since the 6, the only thing they've changed up to the 10, whatever the hell, 10R, 10X.
10X, XR, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. The only thing that they've changed, and I say the only thing like it's not a huge deal, is they've changed how the screen looks. Now it's the it's got much less bezel, and it's got that little notch, and it no longer has the fingerprint scanner.
Yeah.
So that's the only major change that they've made since the 6. I had an original iPhone 6, and now I've got an 8 Plus, I think. And it's pretty much the same phone. It's the same size. It's just a faster and you still wouldn't. I don't know how you'd still be able to use an iPhone 6. I think they've turned those pretty obsolete with no more updates and whatnot. So that's I'm sure the social norm thing has got something to do with it, but I mean,
I
just don't know why the hell you'd go out and spend $1,200 on a brand new iPhone.
They do.
There doesn't seem to be any reason for it.
The Apple fanboys do.
Well, yeah, but the Apple fanboys, I think, aren't even doing that. To be perfectly honest with you, I mean, they haven't made any major changes.
No. No.
And they will. I mean, the next generation, I'm sure we'll have some new features and whatnot, but they're not there yet.
Maybe.
So, no, it will. It will. They'll their next generation's not going to have 5G, which is very controversial.
But then they can just put a sticker on it.
No, they're not going to be able to get away with that. I mean, they may with regular consumers, but regular consumers are not really phone shopping. I mean, most people are either buying an iPhone or buying an Android. There's not really, I'm between iPhone and Android. You're not. You're an iPhone person or an Android person. I think in the most
true.
In most cases, I don't think you're.
And if you really want to get your grandparents a good computer, you should have gone on eBay.
Why?
Mike Clark, who worked at legendary UK game company Psygnosis,
Never heard of him.
From 92 to 99. You weren't even born yet, were you?
Nope. Oh wait, 99. Yeah.
Doing audio work, rescued this particular Amiga 3000 from destruction after it had been placed down in a corridor ready to be thrown out. Over 20 years later, Clark is selling it on eBay. According to Clark, this Amiga 3000 was first used by artist Jeff Bramfett, who scratched his initials in the top of the thing. After 16 bids, the Amiga sold for £1,850 about $2,300 plus another $215 for shipping. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. An Amiga.
Let me tell you what's unbelievable. I have spent the last few days fighting cassette tape machines.
Yeah.
Again and again and again.
Right.
And the problem is that a significant part of my life prior to what it is now involved audio and tape and so forth. So I've got hundreds of cassette tapes with various things on them that I don't have in any other form. At the time, people say, why would you put them if it was important? Why did you put them on cassette? Well, several reasons. First, storing large reels of tape is expensive. Even back then, reels of tape were expensive. Keeping a reel-to-reel tape machine running is expensive and challenging. So anyway, and at the time, I guess the biggest thing at the time, we didn't think it would be something that would mean much to us in the future. It was just, let's hold on to this and see what it sounds like. We'll see how it goes. But now you look back and say, wow, that's a really good thing to hold on to. And particularly with the price of hard drives being so cheap, why not just transfer it to digital, which is what I've been doing. Anyway, what I'm getting into is that I've been a member of this forum called tapeheads.net. I've been a member of the forum since 2011, but I had only posted to the group 5 times. I just haven't been interested in tape. Since I've had some time off this year, I decided to dig into transferring my cassette library to digital. Well, I started with, throat's going, sorry. I started with my Panasonic's W520R dual well cassette deck. There it is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. It's not a premium cassette deck, but it's been reliable and it's done a pretty good job. I started transferring tapes on it. And on the first day, everything's fine. On the second day, all of a sudden, I get this real loud whining sound. I mean, it's ear splitting. Well, I dig into it to try to find out what's going on, and I find out that the motor on the right-hand deck has just seized up. It's not seized up. The bearing has apparently twisted on it and locked up on it. There's no way to get into the motor. There's no way to fix it, and the motors are no longer available. I went in, disconnected that motor, and started doing dubbing on the left side of the deck.
Mm-hmm.
So far, that's okay, but now I'm really dubbing on a cheap deck. WoW and Flutter specs are not that great, but I then say, all right, I need to step my game up a little bit because I've got some more important tapes that I want to transfer that I don't want to do on this cheap unit. I went on Craigslist, found a guy in town who has a Nakamichi. It's called, the model is Cassette Deck 2 tape deck. This was a $400 tape deck when it was new. I look at the price, $90, very reasonable for a Nakamichi. And I decided to go look at it. Great guy, I believe he's shooting straight. He brings out a cassette. I listen to it, fast forward, rewind, fine, no problem at all. I give him the $90, bring it home, start doing transfers. Man, I'm happy. Things are working great. The next day, it develops a whine in the motor. Well, I didn't know if it was in the motor or in the capstan, so I got some of my super duper bearing oil, went in there, oiled it up a little bit. Didn't help much. The next day, the whine was down a little bit. Now, all of a sudden, the motor starts varying in speed. It starts dragging as it gets to the end of a tape. I started doing troubleshooting, post the problem on tapeheads.net. They have some really competent repair guys there. Yep, you just lost your motor, your capstan motor in that unit, and you have to put a new motor in it. Well, I said, I don't want to dig into these things. I was sick of them. I don't like working on this small stuff. Every time you take something apart, you lose a tiny screw, and then you break a leaf spring that's no longer available, and you destroy it. I mean, it's just a real pain. So I put it aside, and I decided to go dig out my Nakamichi cassette, Dragon cassette, which is an extremely, these things are selling for $3,000 rebuilt on eBay. And I drag it out, and okay, I'm going to use it because I bought it in 2012 from a world-class refurbisher. When I got it, the rewind didn't work well. And also one of the idler wheels on it really gummed up. Well, I sent it back to him in 2014, 2015. He repaired it for free in warranty, even though I hadn't used it very much. And he sends it back. Everything's great on it, except the rewind is still not right. Well, this time I said, well, I'm going to try to dig into it and see what's going on with it. So I dug into it, found out how the rewind works, cleaned it up. He told me what cleaner to go use. He was still talking to me. Went over to Burke Brothers Hardware, got a can of MEK, which is the best cleaner you can use for tape and heads and rollers. Just don't get it on any other plastic. So I come back and clean it up, and I can't get the problem solved. Well, I decided to live with it because I want to keep transferring over the Christmas because I've got another week and I'm then back at the office. All right, so I'm transferring a tape last night, and all of a sudden I get this loud clicking noise. Click, 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 click. I take a video of it, post it to a private link on eBay, send it to him, and also posted it on tapeheads.net. And a couple of these guys posted, yep, you've got a problem in your azimuth servo system. It's jammed up, it's bottoming out on one end and oh, okay. So the guy I sent it, who rebuilt it, said, look, you just need to send it back with the rewind problem and now the azimuth problem. It's time for me to take another look at it. He said, I'll take a look at it. He said, I don't know if I can do it for nothing. If you'll pay freight both ways, I'll try to cover it in warranty. But if not, he said it won't be expensive. I said, okay, fair enough. Now I've got to box up this 25-pound thing and send it all the way to Arizona. God knows what that's going to cost two ways, but it's got to be done. The machine's very expensive. And so anyway, what else happened? So it's 1, 2, 3. But hopefully that'll get that solved. I decided, okay, well, what I'll do then is I'll switch over to my micro cassette that I had from law school. I've got all these lectures, some of which I want to get a sample and save those. And of all my micro cassette machines, none of them works. What I did was I found this one that a person sent me for free a year or so ago. Every time you turn it on, it squeals. I don't have any batteries in it. Well, somebody on tapeheads.net told me, well, here's what you can do to fix it. It's probably just a flaky record button. Okay, so I worked it a few times, didn't matter. I decided I was going to be industrious. I'm going to open it up. I opened it up. I mean, this thing is like working on a watch. And not only did I get it apart, I got it 100% apart. I got the record switch sprayed with deoxit. Looked it over, and the belt is out of shape, which is the normal problem with age. These things, the belts go on them, and the only solution for it is put a new belt on it. And I have no desire to try to find a belt for this piece of junk. Put it all back together and got everything right, except I did miss one little switch cap here that I can't find. It's somewhere on the desk here, but I didn't worry about it because this unit's of no use anyway, and that's just a speed switch that's never used. But then I went on Craigslist and found out a guy over near you, Amnon, had this one for sale for $15.
Mm-hmm.
I went over there and tested it. It seems to be working fine. I've got it. It has a DC port on it. So if it works, it'll at least allow me to do some transfers. And then I went on eBay and found one that was like new, factory reconditioned for $50. So I bought it. It'll be here this week. Between the two, hopefully I can get these tapes transferred. And then these things are going in the trash can. So that's what my week has been like. But I'm kind of glad because I'm spending all my time transferring tapes instead of doing stuff I want to do.
Well, you could ask me.
Ask you what?
I have a cassette deck on my desk where I converted the early shows to digital. It's working flawlessly. It's one of them that has two. Can't remember
Right.
what's the make of it. It's working.
Well, I've got one that's working, but the dual well cassette decks like that are lower quality than the higher end single.
But it doesn't matter. You're not using their actual audio quality, do you?
Sure you are.
When you do?
Sure.
I thought you just take it directly from the head into the
Well,
computer.
even if you did, you'd still be using their cheap head
Oh, okay, yeah.
and the cheap drive
And-
mechanism and the
and-
tape tracking
And the problem with the rewind?
on my machine.
Yeah,
I think it's got a bad rubber
but
idler.
it's not a problem.
What do you mean it's not a problem?
It's not a problem. There was a story about this guy who couldn't speak French, and he wanted to go to France to meet girls. And his friend says, "So you standing on the sidewalk, and you see a pretty girl on the other side of the road, the street. You want to tell her, you want to call her. What do you say?" So he said, "Oh, I can say that." I said, "Come here." Said, "Okay." So she came, and now you don't like her. You want to tell her to go there. What would you do? He said, "I'll go to the other side and I'll say, 'Come here.'" You can use the fast forward as a rewind.
Amnon, let me tell you why that won't work. I mean,
Okay.
That's a duct tape solution.
Well, I know, but I mean, if I'm sitting there and I'm trying to be
Amnon.
productive, at
Amnon.
least I can use it.
All right, hear me out.
Yeah.
Hear me out. This is interesting. This Nakamichi Dragon has auto azimuth control.
Yeah.
What that means is that once you start playing the tape, it senses the tape alignment with the head and it actually fine tunes
Yeah.
the motor driven adjustment of the position of the tape head to give the maximum playback quality.
Right.
Meaning that you can take tapes recorded on any machine and get the absolute best possible playback available by this machine being able to auto adjust the azimuth.
Right.
Now, what you'd have to do is you have to do a test play. You play the cassette, you wait for the auto azimuth to
Okay.
fine tune.
Okay.
Then you rewind the tape if it works. You rewind the tape and hit the play button. If you take the tape out and put it back in, or if you hit the reverse play on the machine,
Mhm.
then the auto azimuth has to calibrate again. So your solution won't work.
So have you seen any situation where you put a tape in and the adjustment that the tape did not make the right adjustment on the tape?
Did not make the right adjustment?
Yeah, that you had to.
Let me answer you this way.
What?
I've never seen a tape where it did not try to automatically adjust the
I
azimuth.
understand. I understand, but you're saying that you need to test it first.
No, the
Test
machine
what?
tests itself first.
Test
and you
what?
can't tell it not to.
Test what?
Test the azimuth of playback on the tape.
Okay, so I'll ask again. Did you ever see a situation where you put a tape in there and you tested it and it wasn't right and it couldn't adjust? Probably not, because it's a good tape. So why even
yes.
test? Because
Yes, I have, but it was because the tape was bad. It wasn't the machine's fault.
And you wouldn't convert that one, even though it's not perfect. You wouldn't convert it to digital.
Sure, I would.
Okay.
I would
All right.
take the. I would
No.
take the tape out of the shell and put it into a new shell.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I would go through all this problem if I had another way around it. Are these music or talk?
But mostly talk. I don't do music.
Oh. Anyway, glad you got it. Kind of, you know what's the problem.
Well, it's just the main thing aggravates
Yeah.
me is the darn shipping charges. I wish we had a listener here who had a business with a UPS account. They'd let me ship and then pay them.
Let's hear. Anybody?
I haven't looked at chat in 30 minutes. Anyway, we're about done.
Anything else, guys?
I had to get that off my chest.
Yeah. Did you get it off?
Not really.
Let me look. No, it's still, some of it is still there.
Amnon, I ordered for pickup all of the different things from the specials today on your credit card.
On my
so
credit
I'm
card.
going to go pick it all up.
Okay.
I'll drop it off as soon as I can.
Yeah, no, you can just put in the chat and tell people that they can just go and ask for different things that they want.
That's right, yeah.
And they can. Okay. So I guess we're done. All right, we're done. Nick is not saying a word.
What do you want me to say? We're done?
I
Yes.
don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. No.
So are you going to be live tonight, Nick?
I plan. We'll see.
That'd be nice. Okay, well, thanks, guys. It was fun. Mike, Spence, Nick, Gal, Andrew, everybody. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9. But you can always reach us at computers2know.com. And don't forget, have a Merry Christmas. Tonight at 7, Nick hosts Against the Norm, hopefully. And at 9, Mike Phillips hosts the Crypto Culture Show, both on Wilmington Big Talker, 106.7 FM. And you can listen on TuneIn. The link, if you don't know how to get there, is right up there under links. See you next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.